Welcome back everyone to another Train Sim World 2 related video. I thought, I haven't seen it around, I would put all the gameplay in one nice tidy place. We have seen obviously quite a bit of gameplay now of Train Sim World 2. This is obviously only the actual gameplay. I'm not including any of the screenshots or the trailers. This is actual footage of Train Sim World 2 from the lovely people at Dovetail Games. Obviously all credit for them for the gameplay. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into the gameplay, starting off with the Bakerloo line. This is footage we saw in the recent Q&A. Let's go.
Cab, that's what they call them. Yeah, that's the thing. A bit of glancing around the cab. Now, what are we looking at here? This is going to loop. So take your time and detail everything.
What I just operated there was there's a safety system on the underground train, on this train, where you can't lower the window and still take power in the train unless you isolate there's a cut-off there. If you bring the window down, you will not be able to take power in the train. If you flick that cutout switch as I did, then you can then take power in the train. So there was the other thing was over in the top left corner there was a rate switch. So if you're in bad weather, you can switch it to rate 2 or rate 1 so that the train takes more time to take on power.
Before you continue, I saw a comment that says, I can see the scenery flickering. Now, presumably, this isn't a final that we've got going on here. As you can probably see in the top corner, the lighting still needs baking on quite a lot of things for this particular video.
Yeah, this is my dev build running locally, literally in the editor, so that I could record some of the stuff and give you some of the latest stuff that was from there. So yeah, this is not production build at all.
Okay, fine. Sorry, carry on with your tour. I just wanted to make sure people didn't think that this was, what they were going to be tinkering with.
No, so looking down there again, you've got the drop light interlock, which is again the same thing I'm using on that I just mentioned over there. There's a number of different buttons and switches. You've got door interlocks, the train arriving over there. We're just at Queen's Park at the moment. So in the video, this is the destination board, the roll-up line for the destination board, so you can choose that where you want it to be. And then that will just reflect what happens on the outside. There is also in the bottom right, you can't quite see it at the moment, there's a 3-digit display. Those you can't set those. The service mode will set those, or the scenario will set those for you.
Right. So that's designed by the route that you're running. The path.
It's the train number.
The path that you're running.
It's the train number. So train number 207 will do numerous things during the day, but it will always show up as train 207. Yeah, you can follow that. What am I looking at?
Have you lost yourself there?
This is it. We're back at the beginning again. So just another quick round there. So you've got the control switch there, which is you put the key in and turn it on. That turns the train.
Right, now moving on to the new station displays, the dot matrix, which you would have seen. This is coming up in the next clip, thanks to Matt and Sam, obviously.
And yeah, let's just deal with that. So this is a fully 43 minutes for that. Oh, come on, man. So passenger information screens were not in the original spec for this game.
No,
they were the wrong side of the line, and frequently we have stuff that is just the wrong side of the what can be achieved line. And actually, when we pushed the game back an extra couple of weeks to help get preserved content in, preserved collection, I should say, it freed up a team who just kind of went, we're going to do passenger information screens.
Yep.
And there is one. It's doing its thing. It's doing the scrolling business. I've got another one of these videos, you know. Well, you should know. You sent it to me.
Yeah. There is a train coming. I'm not quite sure why it hasn't got the mini counter on that one. So I'm going to flag that up to the team tomorrow. But essentially, just to back up what this is showing is those timings are from the actual timetable. So if it's saying 42 minutes, that means that there is a train in 42 minutes according to the schedule. So that's actually, if you were standing on the platform, you would see a train around about that time. And then once it finishes, it would then cycle on and tell you when the next train is going.
So if I'm driving the train and I've accidentally triggered the emergency brake at the previous station, and therefore I've delayed not only my train but everybody else behind me, does this information screen update accordingly?
No, this information screen is based on the timetable. So if you're running late, then it will be out of sync with this.
So it's not dynamically driven.
No, it doesn't. It's not tracking where your train is in terms of its approach. It's looking at, according to the schedule, a train is due at X time. Therefore, that's what it's showing on there.
Right.
This is a system that we may improve and evolve as time goes on, but this was the best thing we could get in the time we had.
I've seen a good comment there, actually. In fact, two of them. Why did no one get off? No one got off the train.
Dev build.
Hashtag dev build. Yeah. Okay. All right.
It's going to be my get out clause for anything.
It's going to be your get out clause for everything, right up until the point that we play it live on stream.
At that point, it's very different. Though. This is a dev build that was literally finished building about 3 minutes before I started recording the videos, which was about 20 minutes before we started the stream.
Yeah, I know. This was very, very last minute stuff. Let's flip over to the other one because we've got another one here as well. Let's just make sure that's muted because you were recording me at the same time then. So here's another one doing its business. And
so you can see on the right hand side there, it's got terminating here showing up. So these will be Elephant to Queen's Park. And then on the left hand side, this is a train coming in. It's due in 1 minute. You can see it also lists out the stops. And again, that's all coming from the timetable dynamically as well. Along with the other stuff, the sort of the following on trains as well. And it just cycles showing different panels of information.
So the inevitable question has showed up. So if this is on the Bakerloo line, are we also going to get it at Cologne, for example? So are we now implementing passenger information screens on everything we've got previously?
At launch of the TSW2, this is not in the Cologne, it's only in the Bakerloo.
Right, but presumably now that we've done the tech, I mean, do we have to redo it every time that we have anywhere that might have information screens, or does that mean that it is actually pretty easy to implement in other places?
No, it's pretty actually. Now we've got the tech. I mean, it's almost boiled down to being an art problem now of creating the appropriate assets, the way they look, and then a little bit of setup to make them show the right screens and so forth. But the tech is now in, and our aim is to use it going forwards.
Okay, all right, good stuff. Right.
Another amazing clip there. Now we are going on to the Scenario Planner, which was in the Köln Schnellfahrstrecke Q&A session. So let's get into it.
Right, okay, so this is regular Scenario Planner.
Yep.
Right, walk us through it. You built this yesterday. So exactly what are we looking at here?
So we've created a scenario. I'm picking Cologne Platform 5 to start with. It's going to Cologne Platform 8. This is a high-speed pass, so there's no intermediate locations along the line. Here we've got a list of stock. Now this is actually from my development PC, so it's got all sorts of stuff in it that it shouldn't have.
Which is why we've blurred it out, because it would be misleading.
Yes, very. So here you pick a train, then you pick the formation. You say whether or not it's a player service, and by ticking a box you say if it's a passenger service. A passenger service means when it stops it does a load unload instruction. If it's not a passenger service, then it just is a stop effectively, if you want to just do a freight train that goes somewhere and stops. So having added one service, we're now adding another service. So this is going to be the AI service. This one starts in the other direction, starts at Aachen Platform 6. Now here, I can stop at any number of stations along the way that are on that, but I'm going to stop at Cologne and go all the way. And I can tick which stations I want that train to stop at. I'm going to tick all of them because, I want it to stop everywhere. And then it gives you a summary here, says this is the train. Then I'm going to scroll down my list again, I'm going to find it, and if I remember rightly, I pick an S-Bahn train. Come on, get on with it. Thank you.
This is good. You should do play-by-play. This is almost esports. Carry on.
Here we go. So we pick the BR422. You can see there's a BR4228 car there as well. So we'll pick that. And again, we tick it as passenger service. It's not the player service anymore. And you can see where you can tick that change the start time of the service there as well. Give it a name and press confirm. And now we've got the two services. The live driver icon tells you which of those services is the player one. And if we then press the back button, what am I doing? Get on with it. There we go. And then you get your list of services. You can just double click it, boom, you're into the service.
I may have
so we got
shortened the loading sequence there ever so slightly.
just a little bit, yeah. So you notice the little startup screen that came up there. We'll have more, we can talk about more about that later on, but it's there to introduce the service. Here you can see the schedule showing up, showing that I've got the instructions. This is the overview tab, giving you an idea of what's coming up and so forth. Again, we'll cover that in more detail later on.
The chat is yelling, the HUD, the HUD. Is the HUD that we're looking at, is that a final HUD? Is it work in progress?
It's almost final. It's getting some tweaks. It will look basically like this, though.
We'll do a walkthrough on the HUD when we're a little close to launch. Yeah. Sorry to cut you off there, but you've got a little bit of time left over, so.
So yeah, this is, you can see this is the ICU train now. I think what happens next is I wanted to prove to you that the other train is there. So we zoom out, and this is Cologne map, which I thought everyone might like to see as well. And there's Aachen station, and there's our AI train, probably doing a load-unload instruction at the moment, waiting to depart. So our AI train got spawned, and that was it. That was the process of actually making that scenario wasn't cut short. That was how quick it is to make a scenario with an AI train. So it's actually really, really quick and easy process to create your own gameplay with this.
Now, obviously, you chose to put, one, two AI trains, and then yourself onto this this kind of demonstration scenario. But presumably I could spend hours upon hours putting something pretty startling together. I'm going to leave the video just looping at the moment, just because I figured people might quite like to see it again. Sorry, I'll ask the question again. Presumably I could spend hours building something brilliant.
Lovely. Now moving on to the last clip, which is of the AC 4400W on the Bakerloo line. This is off the rails mode. Let's go.
What is off the rails?
So off the rails allows you to do bonkers stuff, basically. In the normal mode, the trains that are offered are appropriate for the route that you're using. So you'll be offered German trains on German routes, American trains on American routes. But people want to do different things. There's a lot of people who want to run a different train on a different route and do something odd, including maybe running an AC 4400 on the Bakerloo line.
Matt, that looks stupid, and it's clipping through the wall.
I know it does look stupid. So, but that's the point. In off the rails mode, we don't take any of the. We take all of the restrictions away, so that you can create what's good for you. What do you want to enjoy? If this is not something that you enjoy, don't do it, and do something you do enjoy. But basically, if you're thinking, oh well, the train I want to run would run there in real life, but might not fit the way it's been. Don't worry about that stuff.
It's not going to fit, Matt.
That's not going to fit. This is going to be an epic disaster in a minute. We should definitely not move this train.
Frankly, this isn't perhaps the best video to show off exactly what the game is capable of, is it?
No, it really isn't.
We're about to break immersion quite significantly, aren't we?
Absolutely. Yeah, this is where you see the nasty underside of the game world. But it's really about saying that we're not going to stop you doing it just because it might not look great. We'll let you choose your experience.
I had a good one from Tintin in the comments. Do you still get AP for doing this?
I actually don't know.
Oh, okay. Right, put that one on your find out the answer list. So, yeah, this looks utterly ridiculous. It is obviously not a realistic experience. It is obviously only for larking about with. But the way we see it is your game. You should be allowed to use it as you like. Hugh just asked, why spend so much time creating unrealistic stuff? How much time did it take to just allow stuff to run anywhere?
Not really any time at all, to be honest. It takes more time to limit it than to allow everything to run everywhere. So it's a case that, do we just leave in the option for people to do what they like? Or do we spend time taking it away? And actually, I think people want, players that I've spoken to actually want more freedom to just do what they want. And I think the number of people who will do what this video is doing is probably quite small. Probably everyone will have a go
once. They'll do it once and go, well, okay, that was slightly disappointing.
I've done it. But what it means is...
look, I prepared a joke. Mind the gap or the incredibly large American freight locomotive. Huh? All right, that sounded better in my head. Yeah, I mean, the point of this is because it's yours. You get to play with it how you want to play with it. And as much as
Right, that was all of the raw kind of footage we have at the moment of Train Sim World 2. I'm not obviously counting gameplay, screenshots and trailers, but that was the actual footage. That is the end of today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed. Obviously all credit again to Matt and Sam over at Dovetail Games / Train Simulator. But yeah, that is it everyone. Please help us reach our sub goal of 550 by August the 15th. Obviously when Train Sim World 2 does come out, there's going to be one hell of a lot of content. So yeah, thanks everyone for watching. Link in the description for our Discord server if you want to have a friendly chat. Got some lovely people in there. And also to our PayPal if you want to help support the channel. All money will go towards Train Sim World 2. Obviously if you do donate you get multiple shout outs and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, thanks for watching everyone and I'll see you in the next one.